Hello and welcome to the DB Show. On today's show, I'm going to be talking about the actress that played Snow White, that Rachel female, who absolutely insults the original, you could say, and what she says in the interview is absolutely disgraceful. Have a listen to this. Now that's Gail Goddard, right? Right. Right. Now, move it forward a bit. Right, talking, right? Now, wait to hear what this Rachel female says. Right? Right? Now, as you heard that stupid Rachel tart, turns around and says, "Oh, it's outdated." Now, they're making a live action movie of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Seven Dwarfs. Sorry, not dwarf. Dwarfs. But I think they've all the ones that are directed it. This female Rachel, they've lost the plot. Completely bonkers. It is absolutely disgraceful how she, you can imagine by the sound of it, insults the original cartoon. Oh, it's outdated. Now, there has been a live action movie with, and I'll just look that up on my phone. Now, and there's been, there was two, right? Now, there was a TV movie, and the Queen, Wicked Queen, was played by Miranda Richardson, right? And Snow White was played by Kirsten Kirk, or if I'm saying her name wrong, I apologise. And that was a live action movie called Snow White, the Fairest of Them All, right? Then we've got another one called Mirror Mirror. You know that line that the evil queen says to the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" Right? Another live action one where they had dwarfs. And this movie, seriously, this movie was a live action one, another one as well. And this was years. This was years later, from the original Snow White in the Seven Dwarfs. That was cartoon years ago, right? Then years later, even though there's been two, and I can tell you, there might be another, more than two, but as far as I know, two Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. One was called Mirror Mirror, the other one was called Snow White, the Fairest of Them All. They had no woke in it, right? Now, I presume that when the actresses were interviewed, they talk about how the story and that. This Snow White, and I've sort of said this about the details, they're going to have every little detail. They make sure that they have dwarfs in it because it's called Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. But this Rachel dipstick idiot thinks, as you heard, the original, the cartoon Snow White is outdated. Now, they do not need to make another Snow White movie because there's already been live action ones. And the thing is, they want to make another Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs have all the costumes, the costume that Snow White wears, which of course they show in a photo. But what? One minute they have dwarfs, and then all of a sudden they're mythical creatures. And this bullshit about there's no prince. Well, seriously? Now the thing is, with this Rachel female tart just coming straight out and saying, that one that was 7 years ago, not 7 years, 37 years ago, it was a bit longer than that. And she sounds like she's insulting it. She thinks, yes, Snow White, she doesn't get the prince, and she has to be the type of woman with a strong woman. Really? Seriously? You know, I know that there's actors and actresses that are sick of this woke, and it's hopefully it just goes and no more woke in affecting movies. But this Rachel female, stupid, dumb idiot, who has had less acting experience in movies because all other ones, including Gal Goddard, would have more on a resume. And that Rachel female would have less. She should be, honoured that she's playing a character that is from that cartoon. But, no. She's too woke. And the way she's talking as though, she's so experienced, and she's got lots and lots on her resume. Now, I'm just going to have a look. Let's see now. Now, go to the cast of this so-called one. We'll just go to and see what else she's been in, right? Okay. Right. So, let's have a look. Right. So she's been in one. Paddington in Peru. I don't remember that movie. Oh, it's an upcoming British live action animated comedy. Oh, of course. It happens to have her in it. Let's have a look at the cast. Oh, and of course, it's an animated one. Right. Now, she's been in 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, don't know about that. Shazam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 movies and 1 voice. So 8 movies she's been in. Now, Gal Goddard movies. Well, I can tell you now, Gal Goddard has been in lots and lots of movies, more than what that Rachel Tut has been in. So Gal Goddard has got more on her resume than that Rachel female. You see, this Rachel stuck-up tart female thinks, oh, in a movie, oh, Snow White, oh, we want to have it different. We want to make the character different. But the thing is, they dress her up as how Snow White was in the cartoon. The costume, the way Snow White has her hair, and yet they're saying with no dwarfs. Well, in the trailer, there's dwarfs and there's a prince. Now, when this so-called Snow White movie comes out, I'm going to wait till it comes out on Foxtel and then watch it and take notes, because the thing is, she thinks, oh, she's getting away with what she says. Oh, and of course, Disney couldn't give a shit. The boss of Disney couldn't give a tinker's toss, because he's so, him and the rest of the whole Disney's so full of wake, it's not funny. So that's just my look about that female who, and you could say, insults the Snow White movie, which I think it was the very first cartoon to be made. Very first one. You see, what she doesn't realise is the fact that back then they used cells where they drew on it and they moved it all different movements and that. Of course, they it showed with a story like a board with each scene, and it was all up on the wall. I mean, nowadays it's all where they use CGI, which that's fine. But back then they used cells, plastic cells, drawing, and then they film it each movement. But that Rachel female couldn't give a shit. She thinks, oh, look at me, I'm in Snow White. I'm going to have a carry a strong woman. Really? She doesn't say that before finished making the film. Oh, when she's made it. Oh, she's made it. Oh, yeah. But there's an interview with her and Gal Goddard. As you heard, right? What that Rachel female says. Gal Goddard, you can see the change on her face. Next minute she's. You see, Gal Goddard talks about characters and the story. Rachel, on the other hand, does not. She talks about, oh, strong woman. Really? Anyway, I'm going to go now, and so take care, everyone, and bye now.